The Trump administration wants teen pregnancy to rise, full stop. Yesterday, Katie Miller, wife of White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller, condemned that teenage birth rate is not higher. Miller said that hormonal birth control is, quote, killing population growth and that our biological destiny is to have babies. She cited that teen births have crashed 81% since 1991. So let's translate that. They're nostalgic for a time when more girls were having children before they had options. Teen births have dropped 81% since 1991, and that's not a decline, that's progress. Because in 1990, as a little reminder, 43% of teen mothers ended up in extreme poverty within 5 years.
Absolutely. We still have 3.6 million births a year, but the problem is teens and young adults. From ages 15 to 19, the fertility rate is down 7%, and it's down 70% over the last 2 decades, meaning we're telling people that are young not to have babies, to wait till they're in a more stable life situation, till they're more financially secure, maybe they haven't found the right partner.
Just to be clear, the administration is upset because teenage girls are not being impregnated enough by grown-ass men. The teenage birth rate has declined, and the administration sees that as a problem. More often than not, if a teenage girl is pregnant, it's with a grown man's baby, which means they have violated her because a teenager cannot consent to an adult. They have cut programs that help women and girls get an education. Because it's a fact, the higher level the education of the woman, the less likely she is to get married and pop out babies. They're attacking birth control. They would like it to be illegal. And some Republicans are advocating for bringing back home economics to high school for girls. And not so that they can learn to balance a checkbook or apply for a mortgage, but so that they can learn to make a sandwich for their husband. Women are outpacing men at every level of education. And that is the biggest threat to controlling a woman. And there are Republicans all over this country that refuse to outlaw child marriage. And let's be clear, there are no 45-year-old women trying to marry 16-year-old boys, because that's fucking crazy. So while they are whining about the low birth rate in this country, I'll remind them that they told us to keep our legs closed. So we did.
Like voter ID, but, it can be given to you by your daughter. Your daughter, she has to be of age, like above 6 years old, she's allowed to say.
Now, I suppose, if one were to give the benefit of the doubt to a man who deserves no benefit of any doubt that anyone has ever had, you might be willing to suggest that maybe he misspoke when he said 6. Maybe he didn't mean when your daughter is of age, at least above 6 years old. Maybe he meant 16. Maybe that's what he meant to say. Except that's also not of age. But I guess your perspective on these things tends to get distorted when you spent a lifetime abusing little girls, right? You may think that even 6 is of age, but even if I was trying to be as generous as possible to this man, 6 or 16, they're still children, and that is the problem with this guy.
President Trump wants a baby boom, so he's putting together a plan to incentivize Americans to have more babies. First, put your money where your mouth is. He wants to give a $5,000 bonus to first-time new moms. For women that have 6 kids or more, he believes that they should be awarded the National Medal of Motherhood, providing scholarships to couples that are married and planning on having kids or that are already married and have kids. Also talking about providing free education for women and the necessary tools to track their ovulation, but they're still in the brainstorming phase, and it'll be interesting what they come up with. With birth rates declining around the world, the United States isn't the only country trying to incentivize their population to have more kids. In Japan, they're talking about doing 4-day work weeks and also baby bonuses. Maybe we should take a look at what Hungary's doing, because they have a very generous policy and have been doing it for a while now. For one, they don't have income tax for any mother under the age of 30. They also have family tax allowances, special vehicle purchase subsidies, student loan forgiveness, and housing subsidies.
The President of the United States just said,
Your daughter, she has to be of age, like above 6 years old, she's allowed to.
I happen to be a girl dad, and I can tell you with 100% certainty that I did not feel that my daughter was of age at 6 years old. In fact, she's 12, and I still don't think she's of age. Only people in the files would think that's okay. Do you remember when we thought it was a joke when he said that he could pew-pew somebody on Fifth Avenue and they'd still vote for him? Turns out, I don't know about you, but hearing the President of the United States say that 6-year-old girls are of age made me realize why he's covering for everybody in the files, including himself. Now for the fun part, this is where I want all you Trump Muppets to go into the comments section and tell me, do you or do you not think that a 6-year-old girl is of age? Whether he's talking about voter ID or something else. Come on, let's talk about it in the comments. I want to hear you defend that position.
Katie Miller, wife of Trump's Deputy Chief of Staff, Stephen Evil Miller, is publicly upset that fewer teenagers are getting pregnant. She called birth control poison, and she said it is our biological destiny to have babies. To teenagers. Fox News ran a segment lamenting that teen fertility has dropped 7%. This is the group that wants to ban abortion, restrict birth control, defund sex ed, and now they're upset that teens aren't getting pregnant. The goal was never to be pro-family, it was to be controlling. And Stephen Miller, he is the least pro-family person on the planet. That's the guy who architect of family separation. So pro-family.
So ladies and gentlemen, I'm hoping that you're all doing well today. And today's video is just out of this world. It's something that I don't first agree with, however much you want to debate about it. But I feel like this is something that is totally unacceptable. Because tell me why a national leader will go on a national television to announce majestically, chest out, that he wants and he is encouraging the teenage pregnancies. This is one of the topics that people are trying, to talk about and discuss and make sure that the kids are safe. But when you stand tall and tell your citizens that your kids, once they are 15, 16, they are allowed to get pregnant. So that means you're consenting, you're giving adults an authority that they can defile these kids and it's okay. That they can sleep with these kids and it's okay. Because tell me why, under what circumstances do you usually see that two teenage are pregnant? It's in a very rare occasion, But then again, your beloved President Trump said that he's trying to encourage teenage pregnancies. He's trying to make these kids, to have kids and so on. And I'm here asking myself, by the time you are speaking like that and you have people literally who are looking like up to you, I would say so, and you are a parent as well, where is your mind at? This is something that has packed the internet and everyone is like mad about it. Because tell me why. This is so, doesn't even make sense. Because you're telling me you are allowing people to go ahead and have relationships with kids. People to go ahead and impregnate ongoing school kids. Because you're saying like you're going to give them money to sustain themselves. So it doesn't even matter, like, is it about the money? Is it about that the money is not there? That is out of the box, literally. Because tell me why you would say something like that. That means that even the kids are not even safe. This means you're giving these people mandate that, it's okay. You can defile a child and it's gonna be okay. It's okay. You can get into a relationship with somebody who is younger than you. It's okay. This is what literally your beloved president is trying to pass. And most people are asking themselves, are we really safe? Are we? Because this is just out of the space. Like, this is just going overboard. Because we know Trump, he does a lot of stuff, he says a lot of stuff, but for somebody to say like that, you know what, I'm encouraging teenage pregnancies. So ladies and gentlemen, If you're new here, my name is Yvonne and you're welcome to being part of my online family. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much. And please guys, subscribe and let me know, what do you think about this issue? Comment down below, share, and remember to subscribe. Until next time.